Imagine waking up tomorrow, and for the first time in years, you don't immediately want the weekend. You don't count the hours until Friday. You don't spend your lunch break imagining another city, another relationship, another version of yourself. You're simply happy to be where you are. Not because your life is perfect, but because you've slowly built a life that feels good to wake up to. I think that's what most people are searching for. Not another vacation, not another shopping haul, not another relationship, not another fresh start. They are searching for a life they don't constantly need a break from. Because let's be honest, if every Sunday gives you anxiety, every Monday feels heavy, and every free moment is spent escaping into TikTok, Netflix, or daydreaming, then maybe the problem isn't that you need another holiday. Maybe your everyday life simply isn't working for you. And that's what I want to talk about today. Welcome to the Her Edit, a space for women who are intentionally creating beautiful lives. And today, we're talking about something I think so many of us quietly long for. We live in a world that constantly sells us escape. Book the trip, buy the outfit, move to another city, start over, find someone new, or quit your job. And while there's nothing wrong with making big changes when they're necessary, I think we've confused escaping with healing. Because if you don't enjoy your ordinary days, your dream life will eventually become ordinary too. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. It's our natural tendency to quickly get used to things we once desperately wanted. The apartment you've been dreaming about becomes home. The promotion becomes your normal. The relationship becomes part of your routine. The excitement fades. Not because you made the wrong choice, but because that's how our minds are wired. Which means changing your circumstances can improve your life, but it can't replace creating a life you genuinely enjoy living every single day. So instead of asking yourself, how do I escape my life? Try asking, why do I want to escape it in the first place? Sometimes the answer isn't dramatic. Maybe you're constantly exhausted. Maybe your mornings begin with stress. Maybe your room feels chaotic. Maybe every conversation you have leaves you feeling drained. Maybe you've built a life that's functional but not fulfilling. And that's something you can change. We spend so much time planning for the future that we forget to design Tuesday. We obsess over vacations, birthdays, promotions, engagements, the next chapter. But life isn't lived in milestones. Life is lived while making your morning coffee, while driving to work, while folding laundry, while reading before bed, or taking your evening walk. These tiny, ordinary moments aren't interruptions. They are your life. And if those moments constantly feel rushed, messy, overstimulating, or emotionally heavy, it's no surprise that you spend your free time dreaming about escaping. Your environment quietly shapes your emotional experience. A cluttered room can make your mind feel cluttered. Poor sleep makes everything feel harder. Constant negativity becomes the soundtrack of your life. Over time, your nervous system begins to expect chaos. Then you wonder why peace feels unfamiliar. This is why creating a beautiful life isn't about perfection, it's about intention. Imagine someone handed you a blueprint and said, "You get to redesign your life." Most people would immediately think about changing everything: a different job, a different city, a different relationship. But architects don't begin with decorations, they begin with foundations. So ask yourself, what kind of mornings make me feel peaceful? What friendships leave me feeling inspired instead of exhausted? How do I want my home to feel when I walk through the door? What clothes make me feel confident, comfortable, and elegant? How do I want people to feel after spending time with me? What kind of woman do I want to become when no one is watching? Little by little, decision by decision, you become the architect of your own life. I also think we've misunderstood what luxury really is. Luxury isn't always designer handbags, or first-class flights, or expensive restaurants. Sometimes luxury is waking up without anxiety, having enough time to make breakfast, fresh flowers on your table, a clean kitchen, financial peace, a body that feels healthy and strong, relationships that feel safe, being able to buy groceries without checking your bank balance, sleeping deeply, feeling respected, feeling calm. Those things completely transform your everyday experience. And to me, that's the highest form of luxury. I want you to try something. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself 5 years from now. Don't think about what she owns, but think about how she lives. How does she wake up? How does she speak to herself? How does she spend a random Wednesday evening? Who has access to her energy? What does her home feel like? What boundaries has she finally learned to keep? Now ask yourself one simple question. What could I do today that brings me just 5% closer to her? Not 50%, not overnight, just 5. Because beautiful lives aren't built through gigantic transformations. They're built through small, repeated decisions. Choosing peace over chaos, choosing discipline over excuses, choosing nourishing food, choosing movement, choosing healthier conversations, choosing rest, and choosing gratitude, and most importantly, choosing yourself over and over again. One ordinary Tuesday at a time. And one day you'll wake up and something will feel different. You'll make your coffee, open your curtains, take a deep breath, and you'll realize you're no longer counting down the days until the weekend. You're no longer waiting for your next escape, because somewhere along the way, without even noticing, you've built a life that finally feels like home. Your dream life isn't waiting somewhere else. It's being built by the woman you choose to become today.